You don't know what real fear is until you really by yourself, back against the wall, and you trapped in a cell with 2 to 5 guys, and you really don't know if you're gonna make it out. Hey y'all, I just want to make a few things clear. Most men, most people, but we're going to focus on men, may never know what it really feels like to really feel like your life is on the line, to really feel like you're going to live tonight or you're going to die tonight. Most men have never been in a situation where they really had to choose their fight or flight response, you know? Most men have never really been with their back against the wall, you know, in real life or death situations. Now, unfortunately, a lot of us have been in life or death situations, but even though we in the hood, let's be honest, man, most guys in the hood are just there because of their victims of circumstance. Their parents just happen to be poor, but you know, that life is not really for them, you know? That life is not really for them. But let it be known that most people in the hood are not shooters. Most people in the hood have not stabbed people, have not cut people's faces. Most people in the hood have not got jumped a bunch of times or jumped a bunch of people. Most people in the hood, men in the hood, have not been in a bunch of brawls, right? But when you go to Rikers Island, when you go to jail, you don't know what real fear is until you really by yourself, back against the wall, and you trapped in a cell with 2 to 5 guys, and you really don't know if you're gonna make it out alive. Like, you really don't know. Like, especially picture this. Your cell was closed and then it was buzzed open by a police officer who is the real boss of everybody and allowed these other terrorists to come into your personal space to do whatever they're gonna do to you. You will face real fear. You will feel fear for the first time in your life. You know what I'm saying? This is 2022, and I just want to reiterate once again, as many times as I have to, that my channel is not just about talking about war stories. We get to the real nitty gritty of this. We get to the real vulnerable side of this, you know, where you not catching W's all the time. You catching L's, people catching L's, people getting seriously hurt. You know what I'm saying? We talk about the human being's natural fight or flight response. You could be whoever you are out in the town, shooter, Big Willie, drug dealer, whoever you want to be, whoever you think you are, even though you ain't that person. But when you go behind bars and you in that cell, if you lucky, it's just you versus him. But more often times, it's you versus him, and him. And you really do not know if you're going to live or die. Like, you really don't know. Like, if you go back to one of my earlier stories, and I speak about how I was in one lower, and the guy who ran the crib right before he went up north was this tall ABG / blood dude from Brooklyn who was trying to make me with it. And I was resisting, so he set up a fight with one of his mans. I start beating this man's up. I end up getting put in the full Nelson, aka the chicken wing. It wasn't my first time feeling fear, but it was one of the most fearful times of my whole bid on Rikers Island, because you already going around the island hearing the stories about what happened when you get put in the chicken wing, put in the full Nelson. You know, dudes waking up, they peeing blood, you understand? But dudes not wanting to be snitches. So really you bleeding internally, this is a serious situation. But because you don't want to look like a rat, you just wake up in the morning in your cell, you piss your blood, and you hoping your body just heals itself and you don't die. I faced real fear, real adversity, you know what I'm saying? Real adversity. And the only thing that saved me was the officer who realized that I won the fight. And they didn't have a right to jump me. Saved by the officer. But that was an officer who, if he was in one of his moves, he would have just let me get smoked. And who knows, I may not even have been here to even make this video. I could have died having my own lungs collapsed, or more realistically, I would have wanted revenge. I'm definitely not a role model. I'm not a perfect person. I'm not somebody that a bunch of kids should look up to, but more so you should listen to my stories and be inspired to be better than me, because I'm never not going to be a person who gets off or don't get off on revenge. Revenge is a very, very real thing, and I'm not going to lie. The thought of shedding the blood of my enemies, who I feel like wrongfully did me foul, makes my dick hard. You know what I'm saying? But you will know real fear when you trapped in a cell and there's no one to help you, and you still want to stick to the street code. You still want to be official. You know, I've seen the smarter dudes, right? They realize they trapped. Before it even happened to them, they start screaming, CO, CO, help. Help, they trying to jump me. They trying to kill me. And then the COs, they mostly cannot ignore that even if they want to. So they have to come save you from your oppressors. But if you stupid, like me, or stupider than me, and I was at that time, you literally willing to die. Just so if you die, they know you went out like a G. And this is what we did to our own people. All the animosity we grew up having against our mothers, fathers, against police, against the system that got us locked up. All we do is use it on each other, you know? But you face real fear when you trapped in a cell against 2 to 5 enemies, man. This is not a game. You really do not know if you're gonna live or die. You know, the Crip homie that died, and one man House of Pain named Ice, certified G. He wanted to be known as the hardest Crip in Rikers Island. And he went out as the hardest Crip in Rikers Island, but he had to die. He had to get jumped by 2 to 5 Bloods. His cell was buzzed open by the police early in the morning. They spanked his boots. He didn't scream out for police. He didn't ask to go to the infirmary, because he knew if they found out what happened to him, it would have brought attention to the house. He probably planned on just getting back at all of them personally. So he didn't snitch. And what was his reward for not snitching? Death. He died behind that. And you gotta understand, I'm sure he felt some type of fear. Because you really don't know if you're gonna make it out. You really do not know, man. But when you in a den of wolves, you either gonna be the alpha wolf or you gonna be the prey. It's not a game, man. You know, when I say you really don't know what's on the other end of this fight you about to enter, and you by yourself, you gotta choose to really rise above and make sure that you gonna survive or you not, you know, cause when I say you don't know if you're gonna live or you gonna die, these is feelings that a lot of men, luckily, they don't have to be forced with that feeling. You know, when you getting jumped, you gotta hope that somebody doesn't pull out something to stab you with. You gotta hope that somebody doesn't pull out something to poke you with. You gotta hope that you don't get put into a full Nelson, right? To where you really can't defend yourself at all. And people really start beating on your chest and your face and your stomach, you know what I'm saying? Destroying your internal organs, you know. Like, if you got kids, you will really be getting beat up, smoked, hoping that in the next 2 to 5 seconds, the police gonna come and break it up. If they not behind you getting smoked in the first place. You know, if you got kids, you thinking to yourself, damn, my son, my daughter, I'm not gonna make it home to see my son, my daughter, you know what I'm saying? If you don't got kids, and you know your mother love you, your grandmother love you, you in your head, you like, mom. Like, it be real, man. Like when the police had his knee on George Floyd's neck, you feel me? And one of the last things he said was, mama, mommy, you know what I'm saying? Like, that's real. Things like that really happen, you know? You really will be thinking that. Like, you really will be thinking that when you feel like your life is about to be taken away from you. You will really think that. Like, it's not a game. It's not a game. This is why, if you're a father like me, you gotta push your children in a different direction so they don't deal with the same type of things that you dealt with, you know what I'm saying? Hopefully they won't be in a position where people beating on them and they feel like their life is about to be taken away from them.